WIP limits are a cap on how much we can take on at once. There are only so many things we can manage effectively without losing track, muddying our results, and slowing our efforts. Because we're overcoming a default behavior, each step needs to be intentional, and each step requires some practice. There's planning, procurement, preparation, and prioritization. Because we want to limit the scope of our wellness initiative, I broke out 3 separate sprints with tasks and a user story, which says basically, as this kind of person, I want this and this is why. It's because we need to map it out, schedule it, and be prepared to make any changes as needed before we even get to the workout. We need to understand that there are risks, things that get in our way, and we have to be prepared for them. And that in itself is its own strategy. I separated meal planning from meal tracking because of the amount of work. It's a lot. When I say clarify nutrition goals, you need to know what your target is. Is it more protein? Are you tracking macros? Are you trying to eat more fruits and vegetables? When we're building a template, it's because each meal will have its own type of challenges. And we need to narrow the amount of recipes so we're not scattered all over the place and we can create a grocery list and shop effectively. And that's all before we get to follow plan and make any notes or changes. Remember that each meal may require time to cook and everything prepped and ready. Depending on whether you snack, we're talking 21 to 30 eating events in a week. That could be too ambitious of a plan. Once you get used to the rhythm of shopping, prepping, and cooking, tracking could come into play. You may want to be more aware of what you're eating to make healthier choices. This is an effort to refine. But not every tool and strategy works for every user. So you want to decide what tracking method you want to use, what the cadence is. Do you want to track every day? Do you want to track certain meals? You want to set those goals early. You want to learn the tools to make sure that you're aware of what features you want to use and what features you want to ignore. And you want to review along the way to adapt your strategy if you find your motivation waning. These are the most common risks. Forgetting to log meals, logging feels tedious, inaccurate tracking, feeling discouraged by food data. This is why the tool you choose and your strategy can make a big difference. You could choose to log for a short period of time, making these particular risks feel less heavy. You could also decide not to log meals that you know by heart. And whether or not the tool can store recipes that you prepare and use regularly could make a big difference in how tedious it feels to log them.